Hello and welcome back to another episode of What Are You Growing Through? If you are tuning in on the YouTube channel, the vlog of Grow, then you will see that I'm in a different space. I'm standing up. I got a few things going on today. I visited my hometown, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, for those of you who do not know. And I've been doing some real intentional work around a lot of different things, but specifically, I thought it was only right that I zone in on my inner child and working through that relationship that I have with her, because you'll learn in this episode that it was something that I avoided for a it was just something. So here I am in the bedroom that I grew up in my home, like the home that I grew up in my bedroom that I spent majority of my life in. So I feel like this was a real surreal moment, and I had to take advantage of it. I even have, if you're watching it on YouTube, I have my good old cleansing, and yeah, we about to do some real intentional work. We got the sage burning. We got all good vibes, because I'm real. This is something I just been wanting to do, so it was only right that I did so. So I hope you enjoyed this episode, and yeah, let's get into it. So I'm going to start off this episode by reading live a piece that I wrote in reference to my inner child. I started this piece towards the beginning of 2022, but revisited towards the end, like November, December. So I felt like it was only right, especially in reference to this episode, especially in reference to the work that I've been doing on my inner child and my relationship with myself. So yeah, here we go. Be easy on your girl, because I'm sensitive about my shit. I hear you, sweet little girl. You are screaming for the need to feel loved. You are consistently on the search for people to fill that void, that empty space, because without it, it sends you to a place of avoidance. It reminds you of that unfulfilled relationship you have with your mother. It sets you back. You want to express your needs, your desires, but as soon as they are not taken into consideration, you get sent back there. But then you don't want to be a bother, so you don't ask for much. But you feel the need to speak up for yourself, yet you somehow end up validating other people's feelings. It is your feelings that need the validation. I got you, sweet little girl. I've been running from you for a very long time. It's hard to accept you because I fight so hard to not be like you. Nevertheless, it seems like I attract people who trigger you the most. You deserve better. You deserve more. You deserve me. And I'm here for you. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry for not being here sooner. I'm sorry for not speaking up for you when I was supposed to do so. I welcome you, sweet little girl. I've tried for so long to not allow you to enter into spaces, to my present spaces, as if I was embarrassed of you. I do apologize for pushing you away. I apologize for not providing you with a safe space to be yourself. I apologize for blaming you for who I am and who I am not. I am here for you, sweet little girl. And I will no longer make you feel otherwise. I will not leave your side. As I started venturing off into this topic, or just this exploration of the inner self, it really started when one of my clients, well, a couple of my clients actually, but one in particular, when I found myself helping them with their inner child and telling them how to do so and encouraging them, when I wasn't even paying attention to my own inner child. Like I was literally that the thought of me addressing or even trying to understand my inner child was something that was frightening for me. Like I was like, ooh, I'm okay. Like, you know, I can't even say when I said that I would get to it later, because that wasn't necessarily the case. It was just like, no, I'm okay. Like, we good. But at the same time, I saw how my inner child, not addressing her and not, you know, allowing her to be comforted by me, how it was damaging and causing somewhat of a disruption to my present space. So it was time, you know. So one thing that I began to hone in on is the fact that our egos are gassed by our inner child. Like a lot of, I feel like they're low-key best friends, because a lot of what comes up, a lot of like the pride, the ego, how that is encouraged or how it grows is because we are threatened or somebody did something we don't like, or, you know, but that those feelings trigger how we address things. You know, our inner child, like we throw like I'm not literally throwing tantrums, but you know, we're go off, we don't want to talk. Some people may actually get upset and can't control their emotions, etc. Like that is literally something that we grew up with. It is something that was never addressed as we grew up with it. It was something that we showed as a child, and it just was what it was. Nobody, you know what I'm saying? So like the way we respond to things in our adult life, especially in reference to something negative, is primarily stemming from our inner child. From the way that we were raised, the things that we experienced, our core memories, the things that we saw, the things that we heard, the things that we didn't see, the things that we didn't feel, the things that we weren't given, the people who we grew up in households with, our trauma, all make up who our inner child is, and our inner child makes up who we are as people. Now, when I was able to allow myself to realize that and accept that for me is when the work began. Like, we are all adult kids. I know people say that as like jokes, or say that, you know, in reference to people who just still move in a way that is quote unquote not mature or childish, or just seems like they haven't reached that level of adulthood, quote unquote, per se. But it's like, because we will never, to be honest. Like, yeah, we grow, yeah, we mature, yeah, we heal, but at the same time, at the end of the day, we are still our inner child. Like, we're still our younger selves, especially until we really allow ourselves to deal with it or understand it or heal from it. Part of healing starts with healing your inner selves, and a good percentage of what makes up our inner selves is our inner child. So beginning the process of healing and comforting your inner child starts with confronting, it starts with unpacking, it starts with learning, it starts with unlearning a lot of the things, and also just addressing a lot of the things that happen to you or in the same space as you when you were a little, you know, when you were a little knee-high to a grasshopper. Whether it's the daddy issues, the mama issues, the fact that your parents were a narcissist, the fact that people you saw, people you love, people you looked up to, you know, did something to disappoint you, they were on drugs, whatever the case may be, whatever your definition of trauma, whatever way trauma shows up for you, that is what you have to start with. Because if you do not, then a lot of it weighs heavy on us, and a lot of us don't even realize why or what is causing this feeling of heaviness, or this feeling of never being satisfied, or this feeling of just being angry with the world, you know. Like, a lot of it has to do with things that we have packed down deep down inside and haven't allowed ourselves to address it. So if this is something that you would like to do, then you have to start with whatever it is that you know in your heart it's weighing heavy on your heart. If this is something that you want to start exploring for yourself, but you don't feel like you can do it on your own, then get some help. Get some professional help. Start talking to somebody. Whether it's somebody you trust, you love, you know that will hold space for you. Cry about it. Let it out, because a lot of us, are taught to some extent that crying makes you weak, or crying is like, crying has some type of negative relationship, but you'll be surprised how much crying allows you to a sense of release. Write about it. If you're not ready to talk about it necessarily with somebody, write about it. Write it all out. Put it on paper. Get it off of your brain. Get it out of your space to some extent, and put it on paper. And you can do whatever you want to do with it. But just do something. It's time, because the longer you wait, the longer you allow all of this shit to linger in your space. It's just going to linger in your space, and it primarily, I don't want to say it's going to grow necessarily, but the way you cope, the way you process, the way you respond, the way you react, the way you are triggered, those things will eventually turn into something new or something more, and it won't necessarily be in the most positive manner, so do what you will with that. But if you do choose to do so anytime soon, then just be patient with yourself. That's the best piece of advice I can give. Regardless of how you do it, when you do it, who you do it with, be patient with yourself, because at the end of the day, all you have is yourself. So this is a time period where it is going to be very uncomfortable. It's going to hurt. It is going to bring up a lot of things that you probably have not allowed yourself to tap into in years. So you have to be patient with yourself. You have to be gentle with yourself. You have to be understanding with yourself, and you have to allow yourself to just comfort and love and give yourself something that you haven't allowed to give yourself in a very long time, because either you didn't even know what that meant for yourself, or you are allowing something that happened to not allow you to do that for yourself. All right, friends, I hope that you enjoyed this episode and received everything that I was giving. I know that we talked about something that can be pretty heavy for some, heavier for some than others. So I do want to leave you with love and light. Please do something nice for yourself today. Do something to make you smile, make you feel special, like the special person that you are, because you deserve it. And yeah, I will leave you with that. And until next time, friends, you love on your growing self like only you know how to do, and because you deserve it.